What's happening, folks? We live right here. About to ride to the radio station. Get in. Yep. Trying to get in. Scared. Just left. What's the name of that club? Liqueur. Just left Liqueur Metropolitan. We just left that, and let's see. Gotta get in here. We can pause. Let me take a pause right here. Can I take a pause? Oh. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, shit. Stop. Well, no, you. No. So, about to go in the station, y'all. We're live. Oh, man. What did it? Huh? All right, 6 man. In the morning, 6 in the morning. All right. I got my keys. Let me see. Gotta have your keys. That prayer. I'm trying to see what that is. Trying to see what that is. I got my key. I left my key. No, here it is. Key. I'm gonna hit you up. Yeah. Yeah, we live, y'all. Yeah, we live. We live. Uh-oh. Who this is? Jay Fred. We live on the YouTube. Live on the YouTube. Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, that's good. Oh, man. Yeah, man, I just left over it up. How y'all doing? All right. What's up? We live. We live. What's up, boy? What's up, Horace? You tell me, boy. We live on YouTube right now as I speak. Right there. We live at Station Big L.
What's happening?
Jay Presidente. What's happening? Harvard Hawkins. Live. Yeah. Right here, y'all. Man, I had a problem with Facebook, man. They blur me out. Hey. Facebook blur me out. All the music working. Yeah.
Because of the music.
Yeah.
Wow, for real.
They block all the music. Every time I go live,
Everything get blocked.
They block all the music.
Even when you say I don't know the owner or nothing,
Yeah.
still.
Yeah. Wow. I had one of them play one of my videos.
Yo, hey, when's that door for?
Yes. Oh. Come in the front.
Yeah. We live, y'all, at the radio station, y'all.
That was him, right?
Huh?
That was him?
Yeah, still putting a lipstick on.
You know, cameras and radio.
Not no more. They're live now.
For real.
Oh yeah. And that's why look, check this out now. When I had shared your video,
Yeah.
they ain't bought it.
Wow.
Yep. I said, okay, all right.
Wow.
I do understand. You know what I'm saying? Let's say we say we do a lot of numbers and can see you something. I'm like, well, damn, we just years ago, you know?
So they block your video or block you out of Facebook.
They blocked me out the video.
Oh.
But they got artists that contain music. Like
That's the
saying
reason.
it, yeah.
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 Wow.
Yeah. I said, all right, we're gonna do it one way. We got one way.
One way or
This shit
the
we
other.
live on YouTube tonight. And we're gonna post it on Facebook. We're gonna click the link.
Ready? I mean, the phone.
Grab that. Chris.
We're gonna hit the link. See what they do. Let's see.
Since 1973, WRFG has supported progressive efforts that help with human dignity and give people more control over their lives, bringing you community voices and independent artists that you don't get to hear on mainstream media. The war of divisive ideas and restriction of resources was all of this. It's kind of ironic as WRFG 89.3 FM celebrates 45 years as a formidable outlet for fact-based information and diverse quality music that helps everyday people live their best lives. There is a war being waged on facts and truth. WRFG is rarely the only not-for-profit community radio station in Georgia that is not affiliated with or owned or controlled by a radio network, school, private company, or government. We are totally independent, which means we use the power of radio to help identify and correct the wrongs of the past, present, and not perpetuate. And at the end of the year, you can help keep true and freedom alive in the airwaves by making tax-deductible donations to WRFG today. Pure Line, WRFG, or mailing donations.
What a volume, man. Let me see. What a volume. You know that?
Happy and safe holidays to all.
I think turn the second one.
Hang on. Let me see. Oh, there we go. I'll get it. Let me get it. I got one here. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Oh, of course. It was stomach ground, man.
Oh, a little while.
All right. How you doing?
I'm beautiful.
I'm all right.
Y'all don't think I was gonna be wide awake this morning?
Oh, I don't know. I'm barely. I'm gonna hold on like this in a minute.
You should be used to it.
Once a week.
Was that anything in particular, Chris?
Cool.
For me?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I barely. We're gonna be all right, though. Live on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Say your name. Yeah, say your name.
Everybody, it's Pamela Jefferson.
Okay, Pamela Jefferson.
Get at me.
What you do?
What I do?
Tell people what you
Artist development.
do. Hey.
So if you think you got it going on, but somebody else say you don't, you need to call in this morning. You need some help, I can help you.
Yeah, y'all hear that? Give your stuff.
What? Okay. I said I do all this. The first name I don't know this.
So what's your information? Put your information.
Hit me up.
Hit her up.
Oh,
Hit her up.
Hit my email.
Email. She don't tweet.
Because I can't stand the backlash.
Oh, okay.
I'm sensitive. Hit me up at Jazzy P for you. And guess what? Hotmail.com.
Hotmail. Oh,
It's JAZZY, the number 4, the letter U, and Hotmail.
Hotmail.
There
Okay.
you go.
There she go. She hotmailing y'all.
That's right. Ain't no sense in changing mine.
I know that's
So many
right.
people got my information.
Yeah. How you do it?
You start changing stuff and people don't know. They don't know how to reach you.
You get lost in the sauce.
That's right. They're lost in this house. But they'll find you. Start calling around.
You get lost.
If you're really good, you can find my phone number. But you got to do your research.
Oh, you gotta see that dog and a hound dog to hunt her down.
That's right. It's possible. Then
Yeah.
I got no choice but to.
Oh, they did something. Get it up, folks. We live though. We live. YouTube.
Now, see, I didn't even know that we was gonna be live on YouTube, and I almost did my hair.
You almost did. You look marvelous.
Oh, it's so good to see you. Now, the only reason why I'm here,
So
you
she
know
look-
it's love that I'm here.
Yeah.
This God awful time in here.
Look, you look marvelous.
Okay, sorry.
You look marvelous,
Thank
baby.
you.
Play it twice.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm so glad I actually put on some clothes and didn't leave my bonnet on.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
go around so much
It's
stuff.
early. Oh, it's early.
Oh, yeah.
Tell the other song. You play it twice.
Do I need to get this?
Yeah, probably.
I won't listen. We'll go on. Once again, it's Uncle Reggie ATL, Facebook, Uncle Reggie ATL, Twitter, King Reggie 637, Instagram.
Bro, what's happening?
And y'all live with me here, Uncle
What's going on,
Reggie
man? Checking in.
ATL. 3 words, Uncle Reggie ATL. Thank y'all. We checking in. WRG. The After Set Show. The After Set.
After set.
Got Big Al in the house.
You already know, man. It's big ass, man. Your baby mama feel big.
Yeah, man, baby.
I need my check.
Thumbs up.
Let's see. Let's see what this thing. There we go. There we go, J. Fred. Show y'all the studio, y'all. I do this every week. They said I'll be live at the radio station. Live now.
Got me on?
Yeah.
Thank y'all for tuning in to the After Set on Reggie Rage's Facebook. You can always listen to us online at www.wrfg.org. You can also call in at 404-523-8989. Tonight, you definitely want to be tuning in because we got a special guest in the studio, our first lady in the studio, our first guest in the studio, our first everything in the studio. Like you say, we got Miss Pamela Jefferson. This woman did artist development on Usher. She put together a skate. She's still working for Usher, aren't you? No, you work for his mother. Yes. Okay. So, bottom line is, we got somebody with some credibility in here, outside credibility we had.
Good.
But now, other than that, you want to stay tuned because we got a ticket giveaway coming in tonight, and you're gonna have to call in to get it. So, so check it out. He's your Power Lord every Monday morning, 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. The After Set. Jay Perez. He said everything. What it say? Yeek. And I took that one from you too, didn't I?
Yeah, we live, y'all. How we doing this, man? Every Monday morning from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. We live for WRFG 89.3 Atlanta, Georgia, USA.
Oh, I have to. Okay.
When I can say we're gonna go live probably in about 6 minutes.
Okay, because that was cool, you know.
So I can go back come and read just the mic.
Yeah,
Stay
but
live the whole time.
oh yeah,
I won't pick my nose.
huh?
I won't pick my nose.
You want to pick up? They know what I be
like
doing.
this.
I need some chewing gum. That's what I do. Everybody talking about when I chew chewing gum on here. I said, man, you wear that gum out? Yeah. Yeah.
You gonna be popping it too.
No, just
You
chewing.
don't pop it, just chew.
Yeah, I be chewing, man. Get my nerves out a whole lot.
You got bad.
Oh,
Early in the morning.
all day. All day. Yeah. All day, my nerves. People know what I do. I had to get away. Wood somewhere. Yeah. Get away from this place. Yeah. Smoke one. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. Go down. We live, y'all. We live.
Everybody checking in, man. Sitting on my live, man. Call the station at 404-523-8989. You know, with your request, man. What's on your mind, man? Y'all talk to me. And if you didn't know,
I'm going to use the characters. Auntie
boy,
Gloria.
man, your baby mama, real baby daddy.
Auntie Gloria from Chicago. My cousin Jerome in Mississippi. Clarksdale, Mississippi. Everybody. My boy Clint.
Is that how long I need to say?
Well, Charles Love. Got everybody, man. Everybody on the west side. Everybody on the west side.
I just see you also out.
Atlanta, Georgia, USA. USA.
Everything. We do.
Yeah. We're live.
It just carry over. So if I want to, I do all that. You know how you
Yeah, we live, y'all. Hey, did the Falcons win?
Yes, they did.
Man, the Falcons won. Man, I was doing some stuff, man.
And they won big too. They won big. It don't matter what they did.
Boy, I'm moving animals today, boy.
They actually got 40 points.
Yeah.
40.
That moves animals, man.
So what y'all think about the Falcons?
Huh?
What do you think about the Falcons?
Well, they gonna win sooner or later.
Well, they won yesterday, so late sooner or later.
I thought my Super Bowl win. I thought they were going to the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, it was a lot of injured players. I mean, but I want them to stop. They got a very good team, I think. I just don't want Warren Face to win, and I don't break our dome, you know, I don't want that to happen. It's Mercedes, it's the dome, right? It's the new dome.
Yeah.
If you in Atlanta, we don't call it the dome. Yeah, but it's still the dome. I'm still calling it the dome. It's the new dome, but it's the dome. Who got time to say all that? Mercedes Benz.
That's why they put their name on it.
Hey, I'm not giving no free advertisement. They give me a call. It's the dome.
Where y'all
The dome
going?
is-
Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
And they feel like, here's the thing, the Saints don't feel like it's their home anyway. Because they have a Mercedes-Benz zone too. So please, if you have any faith, if you pray at all, pray that the Saints do not come to the Super Bowl in the ATL.
Oh man.
I can't take it.
Yeah. There's gonna be something to look at, boy.
Is it? You gonna win?
Yeah. Gonna be somewhere. We're gonna be live at somebody's spot.
Yeah. And somebody's spot.
Super Bowl party, yeah.
So it's about that party, not the game.
No, we just get together.
Because let's be real, the game is usually boring.
Get together, the halftime, all of it, the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Halftime.
Yeah.
That's you know what?
That's a show.
This is what I
boy.
think they should do about the halftime show. Just turn it on the people. Just come in the streets of Atlanta. We'll do it. You don't have to pay nobody. Everybody want to be a star, right? You can do an amateur hour right out there in the city. That's the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just gonna have to be careful which street you're on.
Yeah.
That's all. Because
Yeah.
you might get a costume. You weren't trying to get on air. It might be a booth.
Yeah.
So just put that 3-second delay on that. And just take it to the streets of Atlanta. That's a halftime show, right?
All day long.
Ain't
Gonna
nobody
get some
doing
kind of show.
Welcome to the A.
Goodbye Super Bowl.
Lord have mercy.
They'll petition to come back though. When you come back doing what was it? We used to have him, but no, it was too loud right now.
Talking about freak meat.
Yeah, you come doing freak. This the new freak week.
Oh man,
Super Bowl.
man, y'all could remember another freak meat,
Yeah, that's right.
especially now. Oof, they open the floodgates, it'll be over. Now,
We were wild. These those young cats, man.
ooh-wee, all of them get together in one city.
Freak meat with dirty man.
Going on to 30.
Yeah. Scary.
Let's just bring down from fill y'all if it's too hot.
We get live, we going live.
Put your headset on.
So I'm gonna get professional now. Ooh, my head too small.
All right, you ready? You listen to the sounds of the After Set. I'm your host, DJ Power Lord, the God of Bass, along with my partners in rhyme, Big Al,
Baby mama, real baby daddy.
as well as Uncle Reggie ATL
I'm in here.
and Jay Presidente.
Live from Moreland and Houston Avenue.
Yeek.
Alton Avenue.
Yeek.
I'm saying, y'all can't even move on. I'm still waiting for him to say it.
Oh, well, you know, I'm just freestyling today.
I'm still waiting on the yeet. That's my sign to move on. All right, that last set, we started off with Raheem saying the Creepin'. We followed that up with Bob Lennon's Funeral, and that song was so nice you played it twice on accident.
There it is.
And then we came back with Lucky Luciano's Hold On Wait. We followed that with Tail Dash, Go Down Low. And this action's Gloss Boss. If you'd like to call in, give us a request. Tell us how much you love the show, because I know you don't hate it. Give us a call, 404-523-8989, 404-523-8989. And if you have to get away from your radio and you still want to listen to us,
Just out and about.
yeah, you can always listen to us on your smartphone or on your computer online at www.wrfg.org. Once again, it's www.wrfg.org. Just to let y'all know, we got the Youth Ensemble of Atlanta's Christmas Classic coming up. It's going to be called Urban Holiday Soup, and it's I should say, Atlanta's longest running Christmas musical comedy. It's in that Urban Holiday Soup, and like I say, it's at the Seven Stages Theater right here in the historic little 5 Points area. And being that this is week 2, you can catch the shows on Thursday, December 13th at 8 o'clock, Friday, December 14th at 8 o'clock, Saturday, December 15th at 8 o'clock, and Sunday, December 16th. I don't know, got the wrong day. That was last week.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, boy. I'm moving so fast. I'm reading one thing. Let me change
You're
that.
doing a recap.
Yeah. Okay. This week, you can catch it on Thursday, December 20th at 8, Friday, December 21st at 8, and Saturday, December 22nd at 8. And the last day will be Sunday, December 23rd at 5 p.m. And one of the reasons I bring that up is because we got a ticket giveaway for this show. So all you men out there who want to do something different with your lady, and instead of taking her to the movies or taking to see Medea play, you come out, see some young talent, and enjoy the play there. And it's something different. Like I said, we do have a ticket giveaway coming up probably in the next hour, so stay tuned for that. Now it's 3:34. Did pretty good on that. It's time to get down to our business of the night.
Did it.
As you know, I always say, when it comes to our show, this is the only show where you got true music industry experts. We got a man that's on a platinum producing record, platinum, yeah, Quit Platinum, right, Randy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
There
You
you
know what I'm saying?
go.
We got a man that manages several artists with the Attic Crew. And who else? I don't know.
Yeah.
Young Bloods one time. Role manager for CeeLo Green.
And then, of course, you got myself, who's done so much stuff that that's not even for me to even rattle off it. And then we got this other dude over there, AJ Press. So anyway.
I'm just the intern. After this and all, after what everybody got, I'm just the intern.
Anyway, he's been around radio for several years as well as street promoter. So, I just like to throw that in.
AKA the plug.
The blood.
But now, the main event, though, for the night is we've got a young lady here who I've known for 7 years, who is an artist development. That's something we don't talk about much. It's artist development.
Exactly.
But if you go to a show and you see somebody on stage and they are boring you to death by walking back and forth, rapping, or they up there lip syncing,
12 people.
or if you watch an interview, him and Han and know what I'm saying, and all that, that means they didn't have any artist development. And if you come on this show in particular, and I throw out a question to you that's very simple. Do you remember your first rap, or what inspired you, or can you give me a freestyle, and you go blank on me? Means you don't have artist development. But this lady, like I say, she's done Usher, she did Escape, as well as, I think she put them together. So when y'all sitting there watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta, if it wasn't for her, y'all wouldn't be seeing that. Okay? Enough of my preamble. We got Miss Pam Jefferson.
Oh, good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Thank you for coming, dude. 3 a.m. A lot of people don't show up. Yeah, we've had other people scheduled and they fell asleep on us. It's just this is an ungodly hour, which we understand. We got Pam in us tonight. Pam.
Yes.
I gotta ask, before we get into your development career, what were you doing before that, as in the music industry? Okay, so now you open your mouth as that seems. So I gotta put you on spot.
Put it to the test.
Although
Put it to the
I am a
test.
little bit hoarse, I can't.
Uh-oh.
I have to pull out the Christmas song because it is Christmas time.
Okay, just give us a few
It is
lines.
the
Let's see. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows. Okay, that's good for early in the morning.
Early in the morning, we live.
Pretty darn good for early.
Very good. Considering, because when you're bad, I chime in.
Thank you. I believe what you got to get.
Yeah. Put it to the
So,
test.
were you with a group of a group or sing? Actually, you were singing prior to getting into the
I started out in a group. It was 5. There were 5 of us, 5 females, and eventually I wound up in a band. And I wound up being the only female in the band.
Okay.
The only female in the group.
In the band. Once we got the band, then things happened, life happened, and I wound up in this band later, and it was just me and the guys.
Okay. So did you have any artist development at that time?
No. When I was in the group with the all females, I was in charge of vocals. Finding the music. If there was no background, write the background. I wrote a lot of stuff for the group and just making sure everybody had the music down and we had the chemistry. I was in charge of chemistry. Now dancing, somebody else was in charge of that. So that's when I learned that everybody has to have a job and you have to stay in your lane and it works out. But the chemistry is a process.
Right.
And the chemistry comes in, like, let's say I'm sick. I remember one night I was sick and I still had to sing. And I remember hearing a lady in the audience say, did she just sing that verse? And I thought to myself, oh my God. But because we had spent so much time in rehearsal, they knew, they had the instinct of what to do. And it worked out. It just worked out. In my mind, I was freaking out.
Okay.
Right.
So is that what I guess that initial experience made you say, I want to get more into the background or more into the business?
I think, first of all, Tasha and Tamika Scott, they were the two sisters in Escape. They were in, this was before Escape, long before Escape. They were teenagers in a different group. And their mother asked if myself and one of the other members of the group, shout out to Latrice.
Latrice.
Yes, Jackson.
Is it Jackson now?
No,
Gay?
I'm not sure.
Because
We're going to stick with Jackson.
I knew her as Latrice Circle
Yeah,
in high school.
her name has changed a few times. We're going to go with Jackson.
So,
It's safe.
I went to school with Cecil too.
There you go.
We all graduated the same class. That's the here.
So she was friends with one of the twins in the other in the group, the girls in the other group, and they had been little kids when we were in our group. So their mother remembered. Everybody knew when we were rehearsing because we rehearsed 5 days a week. No, 7 days a week, 5 hours a day.
Wow.
Yes. So they remembered, and when her daughters got into a group, she asked Latrice if she could help us. So Latrice came and got me, and I reluctantly said, okay, I'll do it. But I don't want to do this forever. We'll go help. And then in that process, there were other people who kept saying, can you help us? It just sort of turned into a business. And I realized that I really liked putting things together more so than being in the front.
Okay.
Wow.
So I want to backtrack just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Said something that I don't see rappers, because that's who a rap show, I'll go that way. I don't see rappers do. And you said you do it 7 days a week, 5 hours a day.
Shit, yeah, right.
Rehearse.
Mm-hmm.
Rehearse. How important is rehearsal?
I'm going to say, first of all, I don't expect anybody to do what we did. We probably did that because that's when I was discovering, didn't know it at the time, that's where my passion was in putting it together. And I'm somewhat of a perfectionist in that area because every group that I've ever worked with, I took that into, you got to walk the same. You got to have the same heartbeat because that produces the instinct. That keeps you together. You got to, because they're going to fight. They're going to fight. Every group fights.
Right.
They get on each other's nerve. They spend so much time together. But people have got to see you as a group. That's what makes you stand out. There's a million groups out here, a million artists out here. Everybody knows somebody who's a great singer, but they'll never make it because they're not prepared for the work. I mean, we could have got signed just because of our work ethic. They wouldn't have cared if we could sing at all. It just so happens that we could.
Okay, because I just don't see, especially rappers, putting in the time of rehearsal, and it shows once they step on the stage.
Yes.
You know, so dealing with the rehearsal thing, because rehearsal brings you to the stage,
Right.
and it brings you to the attention
Yes.
of other people in the industry.
Right.
You know, to get you where you want to go. The word presence, charisma,
Mm-hmm.
and ego.
Mm-hmm.
How do you deal with that when, let's say, the person who wants to be the star of the group
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have charisma,
Mm-hmm.
presence, but an ego?
Right. You know, I established right from the beginning. If you were so wonderful, why am I here? If you have it all together and you need nothing, why did your manager call me? That usually gets a real hush in the room. The laughter stops and people start getting serious because I established who's in charge from the very beginning. But I caress them in the beginning. I tell everybody, it's so amazing to me how nervous people get when they start working with me. The last group that everybody knows that I work with is Drew Hill. And you know they sold many records, been around the world. And I told that manager, I said, oh, I'm just going to prepare you that they're going to be nervous. He said, oh, no, not my group. I said, everybody is nervous because of the way I go about it. I established that I care about them, what they're doing. I love the craft, but you need help.
Okay. We're gonna pause on that one and do some other things. Tonight we're not listening. Tonight on the after set, we have Miss Pam Long here, the artist development, and we'll come back here. When we come back, we gonna really get deep off into her, I guess, beginnings of her career, as in who she worked with and how that all came about. So listen to the after set on WRFG.
I like these headphones. I'm like, what can I take when I leave? I'm just gonna ask.
We back. We back. Yep. Y'all rocking with the after set show at WRFG 89.3. 89.3 Atlanta, Georgia, USA. Shout out to all my people in the Philippines and Ghana, South America, Brazil.
Ask me what happened to him.
Everybody, man. Shout out to everybody, man. My boy Bonet on the west side. What's up, boss?
Okay.
As far as his career, and as far
Yeah.
They just want to know where he
Never
is
turn
now.
me off.
All my folks,
Okay.
all my
There's no
cowboys.
reason to fucking punch.
Billy Ray
You
Valentine,
off. Okay.
championship bull rider.
Always keep that.
Bet
on.
Chucky.
There's no reason to punch that off. I'm trolling
Charles
you,
Brown.
stop. But that's all you gotta do is find
Shout out to all the west side cowboys.
not hitting red.
I should have thrown off what she asked.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's Mr. What's it about Mr.
We
Raheem
here.
now?
Mr. Raheem.
Raheem.
Oh.
I ain't know Mr. Ryan did.
Hey, Mr. Raheem now?
What?
Raheem the Green.
On Facebook?
I know
Yeah,
him.
Facebook saying his
Messiah, what's his name? Messiah or something? What, Mecca? What?
No, that's
that's
government.
his government. We don't do government. Reggie.
Oh, I don't know shit. That what you know.
Yeah, but he just has Raheem Green cake and he has.
Oh, I ain't know
If
that.
you see Mikael Raheem, that's when you see pictures of his kids.
That's what he friended me. I told him.
Right,
Right,
But that's personal.
Right, that's his personal page.
well, we
Raheem Green is on the anyway.
okay.
He's still
We
putting
doing
out, music.
Well, how interesting it is that she asked, where is he?
Yeah, but he puts music at least every 3 months. Yeah.
But that's interesting, don't you think?
Well, yeah, but I mean,
That she
he's not trying to risk anybody. You know, we all got to run. You know what I'm saying? And after that run ends, you don't find something to transition into. You find yourself working at Coca-Cola.
Right. Well, no, that's Coca-Cola is a good job. Good job.
I'm just saying you're working 9 to 5.
Raheem, Coca-Cola, that's a good job.
But Raheem is
Decent transition.
That's too good.
not
You in construction. Wait a minute.
That's
Be
the-
good, right? You working in a warehouse somewhere.
yeah. But but Raheem he managed to put out several people. But the drama. He did several people, but did D. Pharrell, I think he did that too.
No,
No, he didn't do D. Pharrell. Okay. No, he did.
No
I can't
way.
do money with you forever.
But like I say, he really transitioned to be more behind the scenes, and instead of putting out artists, like say he put out something on our boy Double. I don't know Double. He's he put out some on Double O. He put out something everywhere. He just trying to get him off again. He's trying to get him off again. So he's out there doing his thing. Like I say, he definitely is not working at Kroger.
Yeah, and that's something like that. You get paid every week, but your check is pretty small.
Right. Like, he ain't working. He's still in the music
That's
business, but he's behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
Get your nice pair of sneakers with you.
Yeah, you're gonna need a roommate.
2.
Yeah, 2 or 3. Somewhere not pleasant.
But one thing Reggie doesn't know
What's this?
Oh,
about Pam, she was actors on for a record release party.
yeah.
Yes, you know what? That is where I met you.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You met me?
No, that's why I met
Oh.
there was a lot going on at that party.
I know that's right. Shout out to Zone 4.
He was his own for it.
Yeah, shout out to Zone 4.
He was his
Yeah,
own for it.
yeah, yeah. That was a wild party.
Yes,
That
it
a wild
was.
party, man.
Y'all seem to be having a good time.
Oh, yeah. We do. We always do. Oh, we still get together. My crew gets together. They still get together. Hang out. Barbecue. We done got grown now.
They had a grown folk party. Well, that was a grown folk party. That was a grown folk party.
Yeah, but yeah, we still talk, man. Everybody, man.
Yeah, I saw you with you, Psycho Boxing and all that.
Yeah.
That's what they ain't got to worry about.
What?
You and Bruce fall out.
Oh, yeah, we been through it. Me and Bruce have chopped some wood, boy. Toast some wood.
That's the best friends do though.
Oh, boy, we went through some changes, man. But we still bored on it right today. We went to the game the other day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on Facebook.
yeah, man.
When I was reading my government name.
Oh,
Look, I was like, okay.
love me, man.
Social Security now. I could be on the run.
Y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. They crazy. They crazy.
Reggie gonna call after posting. Reggie gonna call me, hey, what I do wrong?
No,
I was like, hey, that Rob is messing with you, man.
I wasn't tagging. I thought I would have put everybody's name right. You know, doing the right stuff. I didn't know. I changed.
I'm like, I ain't upset, brother. I had to take a dig, actually.
Look, I'm like, okay. Man, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I came back. Just like, their friends come in 1 week, you get a job, a title.
Wee.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, we get the check.
I've been rolled. Well, it's not fair to say that I grew up. But I was
You was there in high school.
I was out there. There was a lot going on out there.
You like,
Yeah, everybody is from out that way somewhere.
yeah,
There was a lot going on.
I know Tamika, our daughter
Scott,
softball.
her daughter was
Play softball. Me and my daughter. Her other daughter. She sung at my wife's funeral. All out.
How was their dad? Damn, boy, I haven't seen him. He was hilarious.
I'm not like that. He can't.
I haven't seen her mom in a while either. I know she was sick for a little while. Look at my yeah, I seen that stuff.
Not sure what happened on the
Oh,
I have a feeling that I'm gonna be at a show this week. I took a ticket.
Went to ticket.
Went to a ticket, brother.
Who is up? Who is up? Are you up? Or are you just live by yourself?
I'm just lying.
How many people on here with you?
What's again?
How many?
None.
None.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, this song is.
Well, on Facebook, I get like 300. Depends what the show
What
is.
time it is?
Yeah.
When I do a song,
They not up
first
yet.
song,
Yeah. No, not me. They blocked me. Facebook blocked me. When I do
but I mean, I
music,
get you. I'm like,
do live
beat
video,
like,
and
should be first.
they blocked me. All the music. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was like he played tracks where somebody took like some Prince and redid it, remixed it. Oh man, time they play, they send me a warning. I told them today, Warner Brother claimed one of my videos.
They have no ethics.
Yeah, Warner Brother.
These folks have no code today.
Warner Brother, that's our video. We thank you for your.
But I made you do it.
But
And then
give
took
you
it.
street credit.
They took it. I was like, yeah, no. I mean, look, they take a video.
I'm telling you, on Facebook.
A live video. Yeah, they took that video. Boy, can't give me so many alerts.
I mean, that means they have no creativity.
Yeah.
Just even
Yeah, they got
keeping
me.
videos out there. It's easy to prove that you didn't do it.
Man, I get it. Look, hey, but I still get the numbers though. They still coming.
It's a whole new level of thievery.
Yeah. I get them. I think that video when I shared. How many was it? It was like that video I shared your video. How many was it? It was 200.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what my biggest fault? I be out there when I be out in the woods with the horses. And
Yeah.
stuff. Oh man, they love that shit.
You go crazy. They go
They're
crazy.
great though.
They know
Yeah.
on black man in the woods
Yeah.
with horses, and then they
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, they like that shit, man. You know what I mean?
I mean, do you be riding the horse, or
Yeah.
you just be out there playing with the horses in the woods?
I just play with them. I don't ride too much.
You're right.
They wait to see if you gonna ride.
Oh
It's
man,
free ride lessons.
I ain't giving no lesson, but I do ride.
I'm telling you, you are giving lessons. You just don't know. That's what I'm saying. Something. Let me tell you what my favorite
Not a
pastime is. Right?
Yeah.
YouTube. I swear you can learn anything on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if somebody says, hold up, let me get back with you. I'm gonna do some research, and I go straight to YouTube. So
Yeah.
somebody has done it. And
Yeah.
put it out there.
Oh yeah. Everything. The answers for everything.
Everything. You can learn a new language on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started a YouTube channel. I have not done anything with it yet.
That's why we here. Say it again.
I'm gonna tell you why I haven't done anything with it. Cause I just want to have fun, right?
Yeah.
I just want to. It's just something to goof off with. But every time I tell somebody, you know, I'm starting this YouTube channel, my friends want to take it serious.
Mm.
They want to do serious stuff.
Yeah, I hear.
Can I be on your
But,
show? Can I be on your show? First, have you seen YouTube?
there she go.
It's not a show. I mean, it's not that kind of. I mean, I do see something like that. That's not what I'm doing. I said I'm just really cool. Can I be on? No,
Yeah.
not at all. Then what you gonna do? I said, well, you know, I'm thinking my first show should be like, if I do it once a week, I do confessions, you know. And what was I thinking? I'm thinking silly stuff. Who can I be on? Girl, you cannot be on my show. I know what you want to confess, and you shouldn't even want anybody to see your face.
This is not what you said.
Exactly. So I can't do confession because then I have to have one of my gay friends come on and say stuff that I can't say.
Uh-oh.
Tell me, you need Jesus. Some of y'all need. Please don't confess to me. Don't confess to me.
Speaking of gayness and confession,
Mhm.
you still got down in fake head bounce?
I do.
Yeah, master tape.
Huh? Oh yeah?
Yeah.
The master tape.
What diamond that?
In prison.
Is it? I thought he was taking it.
That was
That was a one.
right. He was in prison.
I had
I
it.
thought the diamond we was in jail.
I thought
He's still in there.
Yeah, it was like years ago. But my partner, he was in jail. And he said, man, guess what I got next to me, man? He said, diamond. I said, diamond. Man, what you doing in there, boss?
After being in the rules for years of his death and me trying to find a death certificate or
Yeah.
something, I could never find it. I mean, I totally forgot about it. I guess around 2012, all of a sudden the phone ring, and I pick it up. You know, I pick the phone, and he just started talking. I said, "Who is this? Who the hell is this?" I said, "Diamond."
Yeah.
So where has he been? I'm just saying he stopped. Yeah, of course, but where?
I don't know.
I don't know where he was. That time
It was Middle Georgia when my buddy was down there. That was in Middle Georgia. I don't
Where
know.
was it?
It was like this 100 years ago. You know what I
I mean, he
mean?
used to call frequently.
Yeah, but that was when he was in the county.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No
Yeah,
phone
yeah.
where he is now.
When he finally slipped down the road, he was the whole stuff.
Yeah. Well, I got it. If you ever get out,
Yeah.
and,
What's on
I
it?
had it.
2S reel. What you got it on? Diamond record. Diamond will record on the 8-track, boy. Yeah, what is on? What record on?
What he was calling me about?
It was a more. No, he was.
It's in a big case. Look like it.
A 2-inch. Or is it 2-inch? Is it thick like this?
I wanna, I have it open.
Yeah. Yeah. Look and see what it is. Ooh, Lord, bank had bounced. Yeah, damn wild, man. Yeah. Shout out to the Atlanta Falcons, man. Shout out to the Atlanta Falcons, ATL. Yep, we do this, y'all, every week, Monday morning from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. Right here, WRFG 89.3. Atlanta, Georgia, USA.
All right.
Sir.
WRFG Atlanta, the after set. I'm your host. I'm your host, DJ Farmer. God.
Bass.
Along with my partners in rhyme, my partners in crime, Big Al,
Your baby mama, real baby daddy.
Uncle JTL,
Hey, what's happening, boss? I'm in here.
and J Presidente.
Live from the side street of Austin Avenue.
Yeet.
Yeah.
You don't say it, I can't move forward. All right, you give us a call 404-523-8989, 404-523-8989. If you want to give a request or if you want to talk to our guest tonight with a question or whatever, you can also listen to us online at www.wrfg.org. Once again, that's www.wrfg.org. And as I said earlier, we are giving away tickets to the Youth Ensemble of Atlanta's Christmas classic Urban Holiday Soup. And I give those dates again. It's going to be held at the Seven Stages Theater. And Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week, you can catch the show at 8:00 p.m. Or you can catch it on Sunday, the last day, on December 23rd at 5:00 p.m. So we will be giving tickets away a little bit later on that. So you definitely want to go out. Well, we want to call in and get them. But you definitely, if you don't win, you still want to go out there and check it out. Like I said, it's the Youth Ensemble of Atlanta's Christmas classic Urban Holiday Soup, Atlanta's longest running Christmas musical. All right.
Yes, sir.
We are here this morning with our good friend. My good friend.
We all friends.
Anybody that calls me while on my job saying, Horace, can you tell me how to get to the airport?
They should fix that out there. They need better
Talk to
signs.
me into the airport.
Okay, then.
You know we're good. So anyway, we're here with artist developer, Ms. Pamela Jefferson. And we're going to go into, I guess, the second part of her career. And that's when she started, moving forward professionally as an artist developer. Before we get to that most famous client, the first client that you had, was there anybody that you developed before them? Well, I'm not going to say who it is, but I'll say it in a minute.
Before who?
Before the little guy.
Before the little guy, you talking about? You want me to talk about Escape?
I mean, but Escape came after the little guy, didn't
No.
he? Escape was first?
Escape was first.
I thought the little guy was first.
No.
Okay. I know everybody's like, who the heck is the little guy? But when you started with him, he was what, 11 years old?
12 or 13?
Yeah, so he still looks like he was little.
Yes.
So anyway, was there anybody before Escape?
No, Escape was the first.
Okay, so let's talk Escape. How did you end up getting those girls as well as putting the group together.
So funny.
Mhm.
Latrice and I, once we decided this is going to be a business, let's do this for a while. I said, okay. And it was really supposed to be a stepping stone into something different within the labels. You know, that's what you think you want to be at the label at first. That's what you think till you realize that's not where you
You
want to
actually
be.
start dealing with them.
Right, exactly. And Kevin Wells had a group at the time, ABC, Another Bad Creation.
Yeah.
Shout out to God's Room.
Yes,
The room.
yes. Before they were signed, you know, everybody in Atlanta, the big thing was to have a group and do talent shows, because talent shows like Shine Showcase, shout out, they were everywhere. In industry, people would send representatives out to those talent shows. Even at the high school, people didn't know. If your high school had a big talent show, there were people there from the label.
Do you think that was because of the way that Gladys Knight and the Pips got discovered was at their high school talent show? That's why Atlanta.
I think the reason why it came about in Atlanta is because of L.A. Reid and Babyface. When they started LaFace Records, then people started to take Atlanta serious because those artists were here or developed here. And so now all of a sudden, you got a shot. And so people said, you know, LaFace is out here and they making big moves. Hey, so everybody started opening up labels in Atlanta.
Right.
You can have the same label everywhere, but you got to have, we're going to get out here in Atlanta and tap into that. We're not going to let LaFace make Atlanta big and we're going to get into it also. So you got to find the talent. So they sent people out. They started companies here, local, and you got to go where the talent is. So there, like I said, there were talent shows everywhere.
Okay.
So Kevin Wells had this group, and once ABC got signed, they went to Turtles Record Store on Beaufort Highway for a record signing.
Okay.
And Latrice and I had regular jobs, and we didn't work too far from there. And so on her lunch break, she went out there to go see Kevin. And I said, okay, well, you go on, because that was my attitude. It's always me.
Right.
And so she goes, and he remembers her. He remembers us and working with us. So we went to so many, we were performing, our groups were performing in so many of the same talent shows. So he says to her, I'm looking for a female group. I need one of them to be able to rap. Everybody didn't have to be able to sing. A group with 4 or 5 girls, because this is what everybody was trying to do. And so she said, well, we have a group like that. And he said, oh, I'd love to hear him. He gave her his card and everything. She came back, she told me, she said, well, I don't know what we're going to say. We're going to put a group together. That's what we're going to do.
Right. I want to because the way you said that was most people won't catch on the fact that you told us that there was a lie told.
Oh, yeah.
There was no group.
I'm not above lying.
There was no group at
I
that
don't
point.
consider that lie. I consider that they spoke into existence.
There it is. Thank you. I like that
It's
spin.
not- It's not lying, you just speaking into existence.
That's right.
Creative,
I knew I could do it.
creative wordplay.
Yeah, creative wordplay.
Well, okay, you can call it that, but as I said before, because I was at school, I'm like, we all get in this business on a lie. And when I say that, okay, and when I say that, I'm saying with opportunity, you better know how to answer that no.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
that
yeah.
opportunity just got knocked out. So
Yeah.
we came up with, actually we don't have a group, but hey, yeah, we got it. So go ahead, I'm sorry.
So we're gonna put a group together. But I know 2 girls who are gonna be in this group right off the bat. That's Tasha and Tamika. Now the hurdle here is that their mother did not want them to be in a group together. But I know she had mad respect for us and that we could talk her into it. I just believed it. So let's go talk. I'm gonna make them audition, but let's talk to Gloria first and tell her what we want to do. Yeah, she was like, she didn't want that to happen. They in different groups. Tamika got her group, Tasha got her group. I said, well, let's just audition. We're going to audition each group and some other people. But if it turns out that they wind up with in the same group, I don't want you to be opposed to it because I'm going to take care of them. You know me. And she was like, yes, okay. For you two, okay. So we talked her into it. So we had several groups knowing full well. And I did make them audition. I made everybody audition. But one day there were like 20 girls
Okay.
in the house and we were feeding them, they were eating lunch, and I said, hey, we're gonna have to cut this down. So she said, well, what are we gonna do? I said, well, this one, and this one. Cross our fingers and let's have them sing. Because everybody had been rehearsing on the same song. Now, I want to say Tiny was not in the group at that time. There was another young lady. She's a good friend of Candy. You will see her if you watch the Housewives of Atlanta, you'll see her. And so we crossed our fingers and told them to sing, not knowing what was going to happen. And immediately we looked at each other and went, cha-ching. That's
Golden
it.
moment.
That's it.
We off
That's it. And Escape was born. Yes.
like a rocket.
Okay, so now you said that Tiny was in the group at the time. So who
No.
were your members? It was Tasha
Tasha, Tamika, and Candy.
and Candy,
Mhm.
but there was no fourth member.
There was, I just can't remember her name right now. But she's a very good friend of Candy. Tamara, that's it. Tamara. Yeah. Mhm.
Huh.
And Tamara,
love
she,
Mr.
I think
Tiny.
when things started to get serious, she realized that she would do it for fun, but when it started to get serious, I think she realized it just wasn't for her.
Okay, all right. We're talking with Pamela Jefferson. I keep wanting to say Pamela Long so bad.
And, you know, people kept hyphenating my name for years.
Pamela Jefferson, artist developer extraordinaire. Before I jump in with something else, any of y'all other three people in this room got any questions?
Being that you kind of just bogarted the situation.
And he knows the story. He knows the
Right,
story.
that's it. I know the stories and I know what not to go to.
No, we stop playing, man. When you speak upon like artist development, you know, kind of like in what great detail does that kind of encompass?
It means, like some people say they're tone deaf. If somebody's tone deaf in your group, that means they don't know what to listen for. So I teach them how to listen. I divide the responsibilities up. Somebody has to be in charge of rhythm and only one person. So everybody's going to be in sync because you can't have everybody keeping time. No, only one person is in charge of keeping time and rhythm. And
Wow.
then that's how you get in sync because you know their rhythm, you know what they're doing. And then I teach them also as far as keeping time and rhythm. If you're going to start, whatever the tempo of the song is, that's the tempo that you're going to start to count on.
Okay.
So you don't throw people off. You can't go 1, 2, 3, and then it's a slow song. What are you doing? Because you have to regroup inside. Something happens.
Right.
And then, so important because I build them up to this. I make sure everybody is responsible as an individual. And then I make everybody accountable for the loose link. We're going to be punished if you don't become your brother or your sister's keeper. We're not going to get out of here alive. I'm catching the attitude. And then first rule is nobody has the right to be angry except me. Now, sweet me, all of a sudden has become your worst nightmare. And you're trying to figure out, what do? I got to fix this thing. What do I need? Then you need to be responsible. You see, he or she don't know this note. Why don't you give it to him? You know it. Why, instead of complaining, fix it. If they don't know it, you don't know it. Your group is in trouble.
Wow.
Oh yeah, but it's a process to get there. And then they feel like they got to do it.
And you know, when you describe that, I can't remember the name of the show that Escape had, but when Candy was out of whack, Tiny stepped up and was like, "You got to do this," and push. So that's something actually you taught, you know, put it back in check. So I'm like, when you sit there telling me this, I'm like, wow, I actually saw that happen, you know. So it's kind of.
It's also the interviewing. There's an art to it, but the main thing you want to do is always tell the truth. It's easier, and there's a way to spin it. But if you base it in the truth, it's easier to answer the question and guide the interview.
All right. Well, with that, we're gonna get ready to get back into the business we got to handle for the station. And I want to actually come back to that because you said that I totally forgot. You told me this before. You know, I can spread some more things in. So listen to the after set on WRFG. We'll be back in a minute.
WRFG 89.3 FM has underwriting opportunities.
What we talking about now that we?
We live. We live, y'all. WRFG 89.3. Atlanta, Georgia, USA. That's where we at.
But that makes a lot of sense, man.
What does?
Problem
Take me off.
solving.
What I tell you about punching me off, man?
It's so simple.
Don't punch me off. See, you do the punching.
It's basically saying,
You know, when you do
because one artist, a lot of like, when you see a lot of the newer artists, it immediately becomes the blame.
What I'm gonna say about that?
You know what I'm saying?
Actually, I feel something this. I know my voice very well. We got to do
This or
whatever the next promo, whatever it is.
artist on the first one of the group, you know?
We ain't winning. You don't have to, you know, pull
Man, now you mention that, it's really
right click.
makes now
You
you
ready
look
to
back
play
at
it? I'm at
ask wonder why they say
you know, you start, you know, kind of whatever the next promo is. You know, we don't play do that often.
crucial.
I click on
I
whatever.
fell out with you last night. But it was never
But
they
they're
never
going
had
to
anything relative to the music. You know what I'm saying? That's why it always was so, you know, that's why you were able to see so many reunions. Because when they took the personal stuff out inside and they solved the issue, they went right back to work.
And every group thinks that their situation is so different, and every group has the same issue. Same issue.
Everybody wants to be in it. You know, when they like it's cool. When you in class, they tell you certain things in the book. When you need to learn it before you go to the next week, to the next chapter, or whatever. But, you know,
Well, they forget that it's work.
they forget it's the end.
Yeah, like they really forget being an artist is a job.
Yep.
They looked at it a great segment of this generation, a generation of music, grew up watching videos.
Yes.
And so in their mind, they think being an entertainer is how it is in the video. One long time.
Look at SZA.
So the girl, yeah.
SZA. All she want to do is quit because the fantasy of the business, and nobody told her this was a job. This is a job too. And she's dying out here.
I don't think any artist on when I really serious understanding this job. You know, but the job is not just the
And it's a regular job.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's a grind.
Yes.
You know,
It's a real grind.
it's like I try to tell certain rappers who come to me, what they do, you know, management, like promotion for free.
So they take the R out of it.
You know,
To keep the R in.
you know, I always my main question, I'm like, well, how many hours do you put into your business? And, you know, and they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, okay, when you go to work to get your check, you do 8 hours, actually doing 9. Okay, you do 9. When you get off work, this is your job. This is what you want to do for life. You need to do 9 hours.
That's right.
You know, but also don't understand that. They're just like, oh well, I'm gonna get put on.
Yeah, put me on.
Put me on.
But you're not gonna get put on.
Well, here's the thing. It's always been a thing. If you are not willing to put time and effort into you, why should anybody else?
I know that's right.
Why should
Amen.
That's always been the big part about it.
Mhm.
Amen.
You know,
Amen.
People didn't want to pay $1,500 for a demo. If you don't want to spend $1,500 to invest in you, why should somebody else put millions into investing in you?
Shit.
But see, now listen to the number she just said. $1,500 for a demo. That was a serious weed out situation back in our day.
$500 for your pictures with the artwork.
We leave that out.
We never talk about promo
The
shots.
promo shot.
We never talk about that.
I'm looking for mine. My 8x10. So you got
You know
some?
what I'm
And
You got some? You
black and white.
got some? You have some Horace. I need some. You got some black and whites.
I think so.
Yeah.
I do, man.
I didn't get one.
Okay, I'll look for it.
Fast forward.
Yeah, buddy.
It's so easy to do it with Pro Tools and everything.
Oh man.
You can actually
You got an iPhone.
you can make a song.
That's right.
And
They
video.
did videos with an iPhone. Somebody did a video with an iPhone. Yeah. Shot the whole thing on. I was like, look at that.
They got everything.
They don't have the I mean, they got the iPhone, but they don't have it. It just be a regular video. Like
Yeah.
you ain't put no thought into. Okay, this is how it's gonna go.
They haven't taken it to the next
Yeah,
level.
you see what happened to
Somebody is at home thinking about it right now. And that's when you're gonna see your next mogul. They just watching everything and then they gonna bring it all together with the business knowledge. They gonna sit around and get all the information. Somebody's doing research. Somebody had to be the first person to decide I'm gonna get me a deal. They gonna pay me for my
I mean, seriously, because you got to think of the genius of putting a whole studio in a program.
They got
The
it.
Pro Tools is basically your whole studio setup.
They got it.
All them outs and all those modules and all those voice, everything used to be on the side of the board. Plus the board, all that now is in a program.
My daughter has a what is it? She got a little spot. She's Spotify, right? So what she does, she in high school she learned how to edit and all these things. So she don't have a microphone. So she twerked some things with her iPhone and some programs. And now everybody asking her, how you do that? How you do it? Because it sounded like she using a microphone. She's like, when she was doing, she was like, yeah, I'm good. She was, I surprised myself. And she has no microphone.
To you, what you got? See, that's right.
And everybody-
Now they got it, but they just don't want to put it to you.
But I think it comes to
Yes, they're privileged.
see, we seriously, to go to the studio was a student loan.
Yep, it was, right? And then we didn't go in there trying to learn nothing. Time is money. Hey, we're gonna do this in one take. Exactly.
We got you this in one take.
They killing me.
This is not a rehearsal.
Yes, that's before you get to the studio.
It's only be one take.
That ain't not just as casual, just
Say, when you-
throwing away money.
This is not a rehearsal.
Punching in, what? But you didn't have to do that. You
Boy,
can that.
between the A-bag, the reel, and all that you spend on the way to the studio can be $1,000.
Yeah. They got it made.
We have processes and people don't understand that. That's why we got so much garbage.
They just need to clean up, like rub the edges. They need to clean that stuff up.
It's easy to do music, but it's hard to do business.
I'm gonna tell you who
It's
I'm
a
not.
lot of stars who could be superstars if they just moved out there.
Yeah.
A lot of these cats got it.
Yeah.
They just so
It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. That's
You know.
I'm talking about even these existing new artists
Yeah.
out here moving. They have such a cap on themselves
Yeah.
that they are not allowing themselves because they don't know that somebody like this can tear all that outer garbage around and make them.
Hey, Rick,
They
I
probably
want to make this announcement. You don't write this song.
Who? Oh,
I had
I do not own the rights to this song, man. Oh, I told they blocked me on
They
Facebook.
were just.
They blocked my music when I be going live with the music. They blocked. So now
Okay, before
They
I
blocked
was
you
gonna say something. Okay, before I say
I can do a live video talking, but I can't do nothing with some music in the background.
And he
They blurred out.
was so upset. He had to go
They gave me the
outside
business.
and gather himself
But it's
together.
all good.
Somebody had to go get him. I'm used to people crying. So he was out there crying or whatever, and somebody had to go out there and get him.
We're gonna send a link. You know, have a link and everything.
And I said, what's going on? They said, well, and the other guys were feeling so bad and everything. And I was like, because you, I said, no, I'm not asking him. Hey,
Be there
I'm asking
for
him,
you.
is he trying to be comical? Cause like,
You
got the guy with the big car.
Oh,
Flavor Flav,
are
his whole thing is to be comical. He's trying to be comical on purpose. And that's the flavor that I'm getting. That's the vibe I'm getting.
Right.
And if it's not, we need to fix that. So, and then they were like, oh, okay. I wasn't trying to insult him. I just want to ask. Because if that's what he's trying to do, then he's on point. But if not, that's the vibe I'm getting. And that's something we need to fix. And I really thought he did. So when he got that, he was like, came back in, he toned down and all that. But okay, because we need to fix it.
We're gonna straighten it out.
Yeah.
We're gonna straighten it out.
We should be talking about on there. That part.
Yeah.
You know,
We're gonna straighten it out.
but going back to talking about like cats not taking their job serious.
Well, look, they doing it to art.
Yeah.
They don't think it's a
To
job.
me, the biggest, I don't know, put the right word, example, I guess, of that would be a couple years back when Rich Homie Quan was on the VH1 Hip Hop Honors,
Yeah.
and he was supposed to be able to recite Biggie's lyrics, and he forgot them.
Yeah.
but
I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
he should-
That was bad.
But that's what
it ain't about
Yeah.
giving it to him or not giving it to him.
But
You know you're gonna be on national TV.
yeah, that's
You
what I'm trying to
need
say.
to know your damn lyrics.
But
We know
what
he didn't
kind
remember
of,
exactly.
this is the crazy part about it is, this is more a reflection of his team
Yeah, that's what I'm
than
saying.
more than him.
Can't be mad
Because
his
his team should have been constantly reminding him,
Yeah.
you are gonna be on
Exactly.
VH1 in New York City. This is a big opportunity. Good morning, homie Quan. You know we going to New York to do it should be before they even say what's up, it'd be like, what's up? You know you're gonna be at VH1. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
The stress it. They probably partying, kicking
Yes.
it. It's no big deal.
Yep, that's what it
We
is.
gonna go shopping, we gonna New York, we blah,
Yep.
blah, blah.
Mhm.
And they sent them out there high.
Yep. Absolutely. I'm prepared. You can't think.
Because for them, who probably roll with them, it's just one big party.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Everything on homie
It ain't
Quan.
really causing an artist because the people behind them.
No, I'm not taking.
I'm saying that.
No, I'm gonna- you saw that, you saw that.
I can't call it artist. It's just like this is. It's just like people get mad at certain people. Like let's say Kanye West. Somebody behind them had to tell them or talk to them, be like, yo, this is going on. You shouldn't be talking like this or whatever. It's always a team. It's somebody in the back got to be telling you.
Let me tell you something. That's the
Somebody-
difference
somebody-
between you doing your own thing and you being on a label. Because if you on a label, they're gonna make
That's
certain
what I'm
that you
saying.
do it.
Yeah.
Right, like I said, I can understand what you're saying about that's team responsibility of keeping you on point, but it's more the artist's responsibility because they're the ones,
Way more.
they're the ones that's going to be standing up there
Him looking like a clown.
looking like a clown. The team ain't.
Hey, it's your dream, not mine.
Yeah, because he's an extension. Now, his team is an extension of him.
Yeah.
If you see a strong artist, trust me, he got a strong ass team.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Who is breaking my heart right now, besides SZA, is LMA. Let me tell you.
I love it.
My radio ear don't care. I love SZA, LMA, and her.
Yeah, I love her.
But I don't give a damn which one I'm saying. Because all I'm boring to watch. You know what I'm saying? They interchangeable. They interchangeable to my business mind. Okay. I don't have to spend a dime to go see
I
it.
don't like going to concerts because they do the same thing.
Yeah.
They might move around a little bit. They don't give the.
I felt that way, but now you put it in words.
Yeah, mhm.
They are easy change.
Mhm.
I close my eyes.
Somebody not gonna make it. We gonna lose two of them. I don't know who's gonna survive, but we gonna lose two. Whichever one is the most connected to the more successful artist outside of themselves, that's the one that's gonna stay. We've seen this before. They battling it out right now on such a low level.
See, that's the same. We seen it before, but like then people don't do their research to be like, okay, it's like there's a lot of memes out there about if they give you $1 million, this is what happens. You gonna be broke.
Yeah.
They show that every. I do repost, but people don't watch it.
So you got $1 million.
$1 million is nothing.
It's the thing.
But-
It ain't that-
I'll take it right about now.
It'll be gone. Listen, you think you can't spend? People like, hey, get $1 million. Quit my
give
job.
me $1
Oh, you
million
might
right
keep
now.
working. And obviously, you don't know what $1 million will get you.
Right.
By the
I know
time,
what it
first
get
of all,
me.
you're gonna lose almost $500,000 after your family get through begging. And you get through trying to, wait a minute, not forget where you came from. 'Cause I'm gonna forget why I came from. I'm telling you right now.
Dude,
Who is
That's the only person that
that?
have $1 million.
Exactly.
dude,
Tell them
between the
to
taxes,
This ain't my first rodeo.
between the taxes and the probation,
And inflation.
that's about $700.
Now, I cannot buy you a car.
Right.
After they take out all these taxes, I ain't got no money. I got to keep working to keep ass in this car. This money gonna be gone in 3 months.
Like I said, they don't understand that, man.
I bet they will fall in the woods.
Because it looks like, because it seems so, we in our community put titles on stuff. Millionaire, you think millionaires, but technically, $1 million don't make you a millionaire.
Millionaire, right? Because it makes you $1,000.
I tell you what, give it to me.
$1,000 after paying them taxes.
Hey, Al, give it to me.
I ain't lying.
I'll take $1 million.
If I had $1 million,
Oh, I got the bread, man.
I ain't wearing nobody's brand name on me.
Going high in the 30.
No more free.
They done find me in the woods. Get me in the woods, man.
With the horses.
Yeah, they don't follow me there. I guarantee you
I be cutting his hair.
that. Well, yeah. I be saying, man, what is that? We out China, boy.
Once again, you're listening to the After Set. I am Eugene Record, along with my Shylights.
Uh-oh.
All right. Like I say, I'm Eugene Power Lord, got a face, along with my partners, Ron, Big Al,
Your baby mama, real baby daddy.
Uncle Reggie ATL,
Hey, man, I'm in here, man.
and Jay Presidente. Like I say, you can give us a call, 404-523-8989.
8989.
404-523-8989, as well as listen online at www.wrfg.org. Tonight, we do have special guest in Ms. Pam on. I did say that, didn't I?
You did.
Miss Pam Jefferson. You know people so long and you get their baby name stuck in your head. You can't get
Government name.
But
He
in
crazy.
our last set there, we kicked off with Willie Henn's Cannons, followed that with MCADE featuring Miss Drea, Bass Mechanic. My daddy made that bass. We followed that up with Princess Adore, the K2 Izzo remix, and we closed out on Raheem the Dream, The Prettiest Girl. As I said earlier, and I'm gonna keep saying it, we've got a ticket giveaway coming up later on tonight to Atlanta's longest running Christmas musical comedy, Urban Holiday Soup, at the Seven Stages Theater. Like I say, I will be giving tickets away from that. And if you don't get tickets, but you still want to go to the show, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week, it's at 8:00 p.m. And on Sunday, the last day of the showing, will be at 5:00 p.m. Like I said, and that's for Urban Holiday Soup by the Youth Ensemble of Atlanta. Whereas I see, because they always abbreviate YEA. Yeah. All right, like I say, we're here with artist developer Miss Pamela Jefferson.
Yes.
Wow, we were off air. See, that's the thing, people. Y'all don't really see us offline because we get into really good discussions offline. And with that being the case, it made me lose what we were supposed to be talking about this go round. Because we had so many poignant things going on. So I'm just going ahead and jump
Oh,
back.
it's a story. You
Um,
want her to tell a story about Okay, I forgot now.
Okay, so we going to. I forgot, and Alice forgot, and the other two temptations.
About the group that my friend was managing, about the comedy. Yeah.
about
Oh, yeah. the
Intention.
comedy.
It's about intention.
Yeah.
What your attention is. One of the questions. I always interview everybody that I work with. It's a must because I need to figure out where I'm going. And one of the questions is, it's always, people are always going to think something or feel something after your performance. There is no right or wrong answer. Do you want people to think something or do you want them to feel something?
Exactly.
And if so, what is that? So once you tell me what it is, that's what we're going to work on. That if I'm going to work on thinking that or feeling that, if I don't think or feel that, then we still working. So a friend of mine had this marvelous group that she was managing. And one of the guys in the group was doing some stuff. And before I gave my critique, I said, well, before I say anything, let me just ask you this. Are you trying to be comical? And I'm telling you, he almost had a temper tantrum. He had to go outside, collect himself. He was crying, and somebody had to go out and talk to him. And the other guys were looking all sad. And I was wondering, what is the problem? What's happening? And they thought that I was trying to insult him and stuff. And I said, oh, no, I'm not trying to insult him. I'm thinking I was getting that Flavor Flav feel from him. And I know that's very intentional of Flavor Flav. And if that's not what he's doing, then we need to fix this.
Right.
And that's all I was doing. And once I explained that, then everybody came back together ready to get to some serious work.
Okay. Being that you're talking about the actual work, the getting the professional aspect of it,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a lot of artists today understand that when they perform, that they're actually selling something at all times. You know what I'm saying? You're either selling music, okay? I say I want somebody to go buy whatever I'm recording. I'm selling the next ticket to a show because I want you to come see me so I can get paid. You know, they don't seem to catch that aspect of it. You're constantly selling something. And being that I know you, and we talked about this in the past, can you explain what it is to deliver an experience while performing? Because if you don't deliver an experience, you're not memorable.
Yeah, you forget.
Exactly. You said something very pointed there. Experience. Everybody wants to have an experience. If I spend $30, $100, God forbid, $1,000 on a concert ticket, I want to have an experience. From the time you come out there, I want that intro to be memorable. I don't want you to just walk out here and walk back and forth on the stage. I mean, I saw that in your video. I could see that on for free when you on an award show. I spent my money and I want to feel something. That's me. I want to feel something. Somebody want to come out here and dance. You go to a club and it's, you spend I don't care if it's $15 to get in. It's dead in here. You feel cheated.
Okay.
I need to feel something. I need to have an experience other than just watching you have a good time.
But in that delivering an experience, I'm going to use, of all people, because it's only came to mind, R. Kelly.
Okay, perfect.
When he performs, you actually delivers that experience that makes you want to either buy something or go to the next concert, even just to love his music.
Mm-hmm.
How can you get an artist in the right frame of mind to do that, to deliver that type of experience?
Yes, you have a very good example out here in Kanye West of all people. Kanye is selling records and selling Nate's ticket because he's not like a lot of hip hop artists just come out here. He do all kinds of stuff. He puts creativity in it. So people like, so people who don't even like Kanye want to go to his concert because they know it's something different. Right. I remember you telling me about who was it with the smoke machine and all that. The first person to do it. A rapper.
First person. Smoke machine. I see so many smoke machines.
I was on TV now on NCIS. LL. I remember you talking about LL back in the day because it was something different. He didn't just come out there.
Walked out the radio.
That's right. Okay. And when you see somebody who's not just coming out here holding a microphone and walking back and forth and, you know, smoking cigarettes and hollering at their boys and their crew that's behind them, standing up there, they're dancing like they like to do, they care about you. They invite you in.
Right.
You want me to come into this world. Everybody, you go to the movies, you go to concerts, you leave your house so that you can be transported out of your troubles, out of your situation, and you want to go into something new and wonderful.
Right. You want to escape your everyday problem.
You want to escape
Your
That's
everyday
right.
Right.
No, yes.
And so, and most artists don't. I say most artists that we see on this level don't understand that. And when you do see a guy, and I'm gonna, because you asked about him, we'll say Raheem Dream. My first, because that's what you were talking about. Raheem Dream. The first time I ever saw him perform would have been at like 1985, 86, somewhere in there, at the Cobb County Civic Center. And while you had all these other acts in Atlanta who've come and gone, Raheem was still here. Okay.
Mhm.
But what he did differently from everybody else that night, everybody else just came out and, you know, with their crew and was on stage.
Mhm.
But Raheem came out, not only did he have, let's say, the smoke machine, he had the flash pots. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I may not be big time, but for what I can do, I'm going to make myself look big time.
I know that's right.
You know, and
Set myself apart.
right, and that would be the one thing that always reminds me when I think about it. When Raheem back in the day, and he's still here, and he's still so strong business wise. The fact that he didn't treat it as a joke, he didn't treat it as a pastime.
Right.
You know, I want to get, because I'm running on time. I want to get into the little guy. I keep calling him because when I met you, he was the little guy.
Right.
You know, we're adults. He was a kid. Usher. Usher. How did you end up doing art?
Favor. That's a favor.
It was a favor.
It was a favor.
I said, I didn't know.
It was a favor. We had been, Latrice and I, we had been going around to all these talent shows for business, picking up business. And there was a guy named Jonathan, I don't remember his last name. He used to MC a lot of talent shows. On Cheshire Bridge, there was Diamonds and Pearls. And they had a talent show. In fact, I think 112 was actually discovered there. And we were there that night. After, you know, when it first started, it was just a teaspoonful of people. And since we were looking for business, yeah, we went there because that's where the talent show is. And Jonathan he saw us every week. And as it became more popular, you started to see more and more industry people. TLC was there, not performing, they was just there. It was fun night. That Dallas Austin was there, Kevin Wells was there, just industry people looking for talent as well because they heard about this talent show as it grew. But since we were there in the very beginning, and by this time Escape was already out, and you know, all these things, people knew who we were. And so we would get called up on stage. And so Jonathan said one night, there was this group that he had, these two little girls. Michael Jordan actually had a label at that time. Okay. Well, a lot of people don't know that.
I didn't.
And these girls were on his label. And I think at one point they were managed by Bobby Brown.
Okay.
So we worked with these two little girls for him for free. And as a favor, he returned the favor. He says, it's this kid who signed to LaFaze and he needs some help. And I'm going to introduce you to him and his mom. And you guys can work with him, you know, if things go right. So we met over at MLK Center outside. And I talked to him. And I just, before we even heard him singing, I told Latrice, I said, this kid right here is a superstar. I'm talking Michael Jackson level superstar. She said, we haven't heard him say, I don't need to. He has the it factor. If ever
say that
I
again.
have seen it.
Please repeat this for the guy.
And
I've been telling folks about this for years.
the it factor.
The it
What is
factor.
it?
You can't explain it. You can't explain it.
I'm gonna tell you what it is.
Hold on.
And it's something that can't be taught.
Exactly.
It's something that can't be bought.
Can't be
And
put
it's
on.
It's great. Something you can't put on. An it factor is charisma
Oh yeah.
and presence.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna say it like that because charisma and presence, people don't understand those things. You've got to have that.
I know that's right.
And the best way to think about charisma and presence is when you see anyone, you can see a group of people just hanging out. That one person that stands out of that crew
It's
has
me.
it.
It's me.
You know?
Yes, you see it.
Right. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
When you can watch an artist, when you can sit up and watch an artist, and he's promoting nothing, and you can still sit and watch him talk.
Mm.
He
Yeah.
has it.
It factor. I say it again.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that he's the greatest singer. 'Cause
No.
sometimes people have the it factor and they can't sing.
Yeah.
No,
What?
He has
no,
it.
he's not a great singer.
He has
But
it.
boy, yes, but he has it.
Yeah, he has it.
Yes,
He the king of R&B, right?
has it.
Oh, what new dude?
You know, yeah,
No, Jacquez.
Jacquez. That's right. That's what he said.
Man, John Penn,
That's right.
he better get a clue.
He came about 1 million.
No.
I have to go look his music up now that he said that.
Mm.
You know, but listen,
No shade.
that it factor, that charisma, like I said, charisma, it can't be taught. Presence can't be taught. It can only be enhanced.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
You
it. Oh
can.
yeah, I like.
Yeah.
I bet I can spot it.
We all can spot it.
Mhm.
Like I say, all spot
In
the
a-
person with it.
In a crowd, too.
Right, that's it. That's how you look at it. If you see a crowd of people, that one person that stands out
It's an energy, man.
has that in.
Yeah.
Everybody
When
knows
they walk in the room, everybody look at him.
That's me. I'm telling you.
Bam. Oh, who is that right there?
Like I said,
That's the it factor, man.
we need to get into a little bit more business, and we'll come back and we'll finish this discussion with our guest tonight, who's in the hot seat, Miss Pamela Jefferson.
Was that the phone?
Yeah, I'm like, what is that?
Was that the
Like,
phone?
boom,
Yeah.
going on. Somebody want calls?
It. I've been trying to tell folks about it. They would not
They will not
understand.
listen. They don't understand. 'Cause
It say you a lot of time.
Yeah.
I done ran into some talent, boy.
Yeah.
Kate, Al, can you tell me we're in the middle of this and maybe come next week? This is your man. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Nah, I forgot that.
I need to
Hey,
feel
Black.
about it.
Hey, what up, man? Hey, we right now in the middle of
That was a good end, wasn't it?
this
We
interview.
ended it with it.
Yeah.
The it factor.
You want to talk that later? We'll get you.
In fact, I've been telling
Come next week, or is
You
it-
want to know what it is? Look
I
at
mean, he
me.
was one of the talkers.
When I walk in the room,
Is that next
people just stop me.
Well,
What
company.
is that? What do you do? They fall all over themselves.
Yeah.
Let me give you my card. Let me give you my card.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. They drop stuff over my shoulders.
God, love.
Okay, I appreciate you calling in.
She got the it
You know,
factor.
Yeah. Then they said, "Can I talk to you for a minute?"
Yeah.
Sure. Because I got this problem.
All come down.
That's even better.
My friends call me. You my lawyer,
Yeah, I
my doctor,
But
my
this
friend, my
but this-
counselor.
but I mean-
Okay, all that. Now what is it?
Then what the
What
problem?
you want?
What the problem?
What is it? What do you want? Do you know what I can do for two things?
I know that's right.
I apologize so many, man. I just-
Nah.
I tell people I wear many hats. Many
I
hats.
totally
Right.
forgot you said he was
I
calling.
do it all.
I'm a jack of all trades,
Yeah, I
master
thought you
of
were-
none.
Nothing. None of that stuff you asking me about.
Check my Facebook. Y'all know how I
I mean,
do
you
it.
forget, 'cause you like, that's awesome.
We in here, y'all. Get at us.
Yeah.
Get at
When
me.
it takes-
Sure.
The 28.
If
Uh-oh.
he calling out on that Christmas show, he even
Facebook, they gave me the block. They gave me the blur.
What y'all doing?
all Christmas music.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Al.
You doing this Christmas?
I said
Santa
Facebook
is
gave
a
me the
people.
vapors.
I know we're doing violent night.
Let's keep you off.
I know we're doing that.
Whenever I play
But
music,
you over Christmas, so I got several songs already.
Santa Claus come straight to the camera.
all right.
Yeah, we're gonna play that.
Merry
Like I said,
Christmas,
more than
y'all.
life.
Merry
I
Christmas.
ain't with 100% because we do our R&B soul set. We got that, so we missed all that. Yeah, we ain't got to go to 5 o'clock.
It's factor. It's
Yeah, they're not looking for it anymore. They just trying to make money now. Would you say?
You good as an artist, is good as a hot song.
Yeah,
You got a hot
this
record.
is the time of the producer right now. I mean, you gonna stay here if you right.
You'll live forever.
Guys, a producer, you the hot producer right now, but producers gonna come and go. These nickel and dime artists gonna come and go. Yeah. One day,
See,
we
the
just gonna
artist,
start
the
putting
artist
money
decide.
down on who gonna stay here. Her, LMA, or Sizzle.
Yeah. And see, with the artist,
That's all three of
with
them.
the artist devaluing the producer.
Yes.
Now the producer is so interchangeable.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So now with that going on, the producer comes and goes. So because he has no value.
Right.
You know, producers were gods.
Yes.
I know
in the
that
80s
right.
and
That's
90s.
the thing. And then
They were
back
gods.
then, you know that because the beat, you already okay. This R. Kelly made the beat.
Dude, the radio used to introduce the song that way. This song produced by Babyface and then say the artist. That's how much writers and producers were gods back then.
Mhm.
But you know, all of them have 60 sound back then. Like,
Right.
Yes.
Teddy Riley, I say R. Kelly, all of them had. You know, okay, I do
But
this.
the art-
Now it's like,
So it was. Yeah.
but now it's like, they sound like.
It's got generic because everybody's using the same.
Well, I mean, they do it so much sampling. I know this song because they sample everything. So everybody is a. Ooh, watch this. Everybody is a pussy.
Yeah. Now,
Because he was the king of remix.
Yeah.
Am I telling the truth?
Oh yeah.
No shade to pussy. I'm just saying. That's what you do.
It's the remix,
Not
baby.
knocking nobody's hustle.
I wish we had a way of putting these vaccines to the world other than Facebook. You know what I'm saying? That's what I said. Most interesting stuff happens actually in the room after we get off air. So, you remember briefly touched on the Usher the last set because we're coming into maybe our last
Mhm. Look, and I made it too. See how? Look at this. Mm.
Yeah, and besides, you can't talk about yourself for 3 hours.
I am not even talking about me. When we start talking about me, then you gotta put on the church music.
Well, we know that. That's what I'm saying. But when you talk about your history, like
Mhm.
the first time I put Al on, with DJ, on our DJ Win retrospective, we talked about 3 hours and then realized we talking like, damn, it's kind of close. And he was like, man, you don't really realize what he's done, how much fun he's done. You got to talk about it, you know.
Mhm.
you know, we did it with,
Uh-huh.
so how often do you really sit around and tell your life story?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You may say parts of it. You know what I'm saying? So how often do you just sit down and say, oh, I was born here, this year, or this, and you know, and go, and when you really think about it, it can be 3 hours.
Right. Hollis, did you finish your book?
No, man. I didn't even really start. I got 100 pages. But that's another thing. Artists don't have their quick story. I mean, they do. They just, they don't want to say, they can be shy or
Does anybody? I'm asking this question for you because somebody asked me this. Does anybody know Sierra?
The Russell Wilson era?
Yes.
No.
Nope.
You know, and somebody asked me that recently.
Nope. We don't
But you know
know
what
this
I
here.
thought about? As many artists as there are in Atlanta in the same, and it's a small circle. Why is it that nobody knows Sierra? Then I went into, you know what? Sierra don't do meet and greets. Sierra don't hang with the Atlanta artists. Where is Sierra? And that is saying something that is so loud to me. That,
She a starer. She's
that
a
she
star.
has.
She's a star.
But,
Look at her baby daddy.
you know, that's not good.
Look who her baby daddy is.
Now I know.
That ain't got nothing to do with it. Because I didn't know
Look at what
nobody
boy-
that knew what
Her
before then.
fiance
I know
husband
in the
is.
beginning, when
These
he
dudes
first
ain't
got
pope.
signed, when he was young, and I
He
bet
is
it was
not
a big
pope.
deal of trying to protect her. You know, they wanted to get out there and get pregnant,
But they always do that, but
all that type of jazz.
with female artists, Monica and the rest of them didn't have no.
And they try to keep her out of the club. But then when she took off,
She's a dancer.
You know, when she took off, she was just so big about getting out the Cali. And that's what she, and if you notice, then that's when she started running with the Kardashians. And she was just so, it was a big deal for her to get out west.
It's so amazing because all they want to do is get here. That's all they want to do. You tell somebody in New York and LA that you in Atlanta, they trying to get here. So when I come out there, they trying to get here.
Atlanta, everywhere else is unbelievable. It's the holy grail.
You, the same people you cannot get on the phone or to say hey to you in California, New York, they see you here, they accessible. They accessible. You can call people in New York, but you got about, I don't know, 60 seconds to start talking about money. And then they out. I have called people, and I just, in the past, I just act like they supposed to know who I am. And they get on the phone. You know what that is, man. That it button.
It. IT. It.
I think that they just recognize people who are comfortable with who they are. I think the it factor in some artists too is that they don't even know they have it. They are unaware of it. Oh, that's the best one. Like that.
Yeah.
They don't know.
I remember when Tool had just started producing T.I.
Uh-huh.
And I remember seeing him at the studio. And for him to be so young, man, but just the way that he had a certain kind of swagger. Like, I belong here.
Right.
Not like, not ego, but it was just, you know, he like, this was, it was almost like I was made to do this.
Yes.
And I just remember, and then he had a certain kind of wisdom talking to him.
Yes.
He wasn't, it's just something about it. I remember telling somebody, then I said, man, I said, he gonna fly. I said, I don't even know how, I go, me and Wynn was together. I said, I don't know how good he is, but just talking to him, I said, he gonna fly. I said, he gonna fly. Because one thing he did, and he always did well, that's what I like about Ludacris too. They can sell anything. Somebody taught them early. The name of the game is to sell yourself. Ludacris would go on Ellen or any of them shows, man. If he can talk about a movie you may not even be interested in watching, and by the time he finished, he's like, man, I'm gonna check this shit out.
I love Ludacris.
Luda. Ain't no wrong way.
Yes.
But see, all of that is a matter, to me, process. Artists have to know early that part of it, a great part of it is the music, but the other great part of it, man, is to recognize your product.
Mindset, marketing.
You have to know you're selling something. You know what I'm saying? You're not just, if you're just making music for you and your homeboy, get out the business.
Yeah. We gotta talk about.
But if you really trying to sell something,
That's right.
We gotta talk about this. What you said. We gotta talk about Drew Hill because this flows right into that. What happened with Drew Hill?
Right now. Yeah. Hey, I gotta remember to let it up. I don't know.
you have to recognize that you're a product.
But some of them, they've been around 2 years. Ask somebody
The
that
greatest thing, our boy,
Oh man.
I'm sorry, boy, you know this, our boy, you always say you talk to him.
I'm sorry, because I was in the.
No, I'm saying, what's our boy, man? You still talk to him to this day.
Brian
Lashley.
Okay.
He was the first one to give me that game. He said, man, all this stuff y'all doing is great. Who you selling to?
In fact, I talked to Brian earlier this week. I was like, Brian, when you get in here, man, we have to talk about you every damn week. Yeah, I was like, when you coming in?
That was the greatest game, man. When we was 19 years old, thought we were gonna take the musical world over.
By storm.
And he was just like, who's on it?
Y'all didn't know that.
We're like, damn, we like hip hop.
And then Prince tell him that in Purple
And it was
Rain.
just like,
You know, what was that line that manager told him in Purple Rain?
let's keep the personal shit off the stage.
Yeah, the only one digging you with you.
And that's
Yeah.
artists are so convinced that if I do, it's almost like if I make it, they gonna buy it. They be that convinced in their mind to say, oh, it's done, it's gonna blow.
At the studio
They
plat.
say it too.
Huh?
They say that all the time.
What
about to blow up?
The crazy part about it, when it don't, it's still gonna be their fault.
Yeah.
When it be, oh man, they just hate. They don't know them good shit.
Out the studio platinum. Yeah. They out the studio platinum.
That's right.
Straight out the man, I remember.
I'm a hit.
They're not gonna even reach platinum status.
They wouldn't know how to do it.
Going live with less than a minute.
You know how much work it takes to go platinum.
Yeah, and they too lazy.
They never get
started rapping what 6 months ago.
man, you know how
People used to be out on tour 2 years on one album.
One song.
Hell,
Private Brown.
they might be out there. They may be out there on that one song, one album.
Yeah.
But hell, they've been working on it for 2 years.
You guys right?
Now they say it worked
just
out.
to blow.
Give us time to miss you.
20 seconds.
Looks like it's going live, y'all. We're going back. After section.
96 weeks, 3 days. Oh, my.
10 seconds.
I'm done.
You're listening to the After Sex, WRFG Atlanta. You can give us a call 404-523-8989, 404-523-8989.
989.
If you want to get a request in, coming into our last hour. So you can listen to us online at www.wfg.org. Once again, www.wrfg.org. I'm the host, DJ Power Lord, along with my partners in rhyme, Big Al,
Your baby mama, real baby dad.
Uncle Rick ATL,
Yeah, I'm in here, man. I'm in here.
and Yeek Master J. Prez. Last set, we listened to, let's see here, Freightliner Joe, Super Duper. Followed that up with Raheem the Dream, Kilo and the Yin Yang Twins, Freaknik Baby. Came back with the K2 Izzo remix of the Bass Kings Twerk for the Holidays. And ended on Her featuring Daniel Caesar, HER, featuring Daniel Caesar, Best Part, Mr. College Park remix. And we're going this again. Like I said, we are Atlanta Youth Ensemble of Atlanta's longest running Christmas musical comedy urban holiday soup at the Seven Stages Theater. Has shows this week on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 8 o'clock p.m. and on Sunday, December 23rd at 5 p.m. And we do have tickets to give away for that, and we will be doing that at the bottom of the hour. Also, tonight in our hot seat, we have Miss Pamela Jefferson, and she's an artist developer. She's done Escape, Usher, and some more people we probably don't even know about. She also, for a lot of people that may not know, especially in the room, she was Ian Burke's personal assistant when he was at, what was that label?
Was it East West? I don't know.
Yeah, he was.
East West.
East West, yeah.
Oh, Ian.
Shout
What's up, Ian? What's up, Ian? What's up,
Shout
Ian?
out to Ian Burke.
Shout out, boss. What's happening?
Yeah, so she's been around this game for quite a while. Last when we left off, we were talking about you doing a favor to get Usher
Mhm.
ready. And like I said, when I met you, that's who you were. Well, actually, when I met you was before that. But
Mhm.
you ended up having myself and our cameraman, who's not here today, cameraman C, come down and do sound. And that's where I met Usher for the first time.
Mhm.
We were doing a showcase where he was there at.
Mhm.
And he was a little kid then.
Mhm.
So dealing with him as a kid, I'm gonna go there. With Usher as a kid. What was the hardest thing to do to get him prepared?
The hardest thing was to get him as a kid to understand that he is in charge of all these people. You're responsible. The band is going to do what you say. So you got to stop playing around and get to work. When all kids want to do is work, is play. But the difference between children in the industry and kids out here, everybody got a child, they know they so talented and they can sing, they give up everything. They don't care about TV. They don't care about the game system. They don't care about going to the parties. All they want to do is sing. They just want to perform. That's all they want to do. And it is a dramatic difference in the level of professionalism that they have. See, a regular kid, I can say, snap yourself back in, check. Hey, the band is waiting on you. They're not going to play anything until you tell them what to play. They're waiting on you. This whole room is waiting on you. Difference between saying that to a child that is in the industry and a child that's out there that's just really talented is it takes longer to reel them in. The children that are just talented and this is not their passion. Mom and daddy got them doing this. The kids in the industry, they want this to work. They want to please you. They want to make this thing happen. They don't want to lose this dream.
Okay. Earlier, and I'm going to go this way. You were telling me what I said earlier, talking about years past. When it came to Usher, you told me, and you actually said again tonight, that you had to tell him something along the line about whatever you say in public, make it the truth.
The truth, yes.
So can you expound on that aspect of it?
You know, when you start telling a lie, everybody knows this. If you tell a lie, you have to tell another lie. And we forget the lie we told, and somebody's there writing it down, they're going to bring it back up to you. If you don't want to answer the question, say you don't want to answer the question.
Okay.
I'd rather not get into that. But if you're going to tell it, you got to tell it just enough. Leave some mystery there, because you don't have to put your whole life out for everybody.
Right.
Protect yourself, but tell the truth.
Now, being with that the case, we have what I like to call the world's worst liar as a president. And he sends this lady out there who's supposed to be his spokesperson, who just does nothing but repeat the lies, who to me shows that they don't have any integrity in themselves. Do you teach an artist to go out there and tell the truth, but learn how to spin it? Do you teach spin?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So what goes into teaching spin? What makes a spin?
What you should really do is learn synonyms and antonyms.
Okay.
It's the way of, and you know, this is always my cue. Pretend like you are answering the questions to become Miss America. Because if you watch the question segment, you know you don't want to lose. And if you say the wrong thing and insult a whole bunch of people, you have lost. They know immediately when they did a terrible job. Right. And you just have to practice the Miss America speech. That's all it really is.
So also under artist development, one thing I can't stand myself, and actually I need development from you, is in my speaking. Because I am a, yeah, you know, as I was saying, I have those fallback cliches that I say. How do you break a person of that in teaching them to be able to project a more professional response to that?
Let me tell you, this is a really simple thing. Literature. You go back and read some Maya Angelou, some poetry. You don't have to understand it, just read it dramatically. And then you'll start to get it. Oh, Shakespeare. They're killing people, but it sounds so good, doesn't it?
Okay.
It's so dramatic.
Right.
It's really literature.
Okay.
They caress everything. It's simple. People don't want to read, but you should.
And they say it also helps with your words.
It does. Yeah.
Vocabulary. Yeah.
But it was just, you go back and read the way they said things. Writers, authors, they're very careful about the way they write. It's an art to that. Go back and read.
Okay. Earlier, offset, as we always do, we have these wonderful discussions behind the scenes. I was busy doing something else, so I missed the whole Drew Hill discussion that y'all were having. Is there any way to go back into that? Because you said you wanted to bring that up on there, what that was about.
There was a moment with Drew Hill. I'll tell you, when I first met them individually, they were great. They're great guys. They really are really nice guys. But I could tell there was tension. And I knew exactly what it was. It's a trust issue. It's an issue of trust. As an artist, whether you are a solo artist working with your team or you're in a group, there has to be a level of trust. And when there is no trust there,
Right.
you're going to have problems.
Right.
And as an artist, you've been around for a while, you're weary of the rigorous business. What happened with Drew Hill and within that group was a lack of gratitude. What I teach more than anything is gratitude. This is your dream. And you just throwing it away because you tired of what comes along with it, the trash that comes with it. You remember when you first get started, all you want to do, you just want somebody to hear you.
Right.
I just want to get up there. I'll do it. You'll sing for free. You rap for free. You just want to be up. You just want to be seen.
Right.
And then you get beat down by the job, because it is a job. And you forget the gratitude that got you there. You're no longer grateful to have this deal, to be in front of this audience, to be on this stage, on this platform. And it's a million other people out there that will switch places with you. And you let the business beat the gratitude out of you.
Okay. In other words, you let the dream become a nightmare.
Exactly.
Okay. Uncle Rick JTF,
Uh-huh.
do you happen to have a question for the panel? This is a panel discussion. Not
That's a
horse
struggle.
discussion.
You got a good question. You got a good question, Hart. Let's see what I can think of. Ask.
Okay, we'll move on.
I
If you come up with something, wave your hand.
He's
okay.
captivated.
Okay.
Jay Press.
Um,
Anything else that interests you?
as far as artist development or what lacks artists now, what do you think? How can we change the outlook now as far as artists? You know, they don't have any artist development now, but they just like
Out there.
Out there. So, do you think we need to start well, more of the industry vets need to start artist development classes or
Yes, they gotta understand, they gotta see themselves polished. And it's easy to do because everybody thinks they're original and they're not. And you go show them videos of the polished version of themselves. And see, this is what you're lacking. You can't help but to see it. When you see somebody, because you think you're so original, and then you hear somebody that sounds just like you, but polished, holding the audience, captivating with the cigarette lighters and all that, you don't get it. You see people standing up, they don't stand up for you.
Yeah, one of the
You
things-
see,
one of
you
the-
can't get started
yeah,
because the crowd is cheering. You don't get that.
yeah, the one famous line that every artist use is, "Man, why is he hot? I'm better than him."
Exactly.
But did you?
And evidently, you're not.
And then break it down.
Actually, you may be better. You may have better lyrical skills, better music, better everything else. But you didn't take the time in to put in the work.
That's right.
Mm.
See, that's the one thing
Yeah.
that they always leave out when something quote unquote fails. They don't realize you got outworked,
Exactly.
you got out hustled.
Mm-hmm.
Person focused on building the business while you focused on getting the business ran on.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's like artists makes this way complicated than it really is.
Right.
It's a job, man.
Yeah. People.
All you have to do is get out here and work.
And work just as hard for yourself as you do somebody else.
That's all.
Okay. Actually, that's better. Work harder for yourself than you do for someone else.
You have to.
You know, that's something that seems to be forgotten.
the investment?
You know, or as in other words, as Al is quick to always say, and you brought up, and I always have to bring things back down to I guess at the rap level, the rapper brain.
Mhm.
You know, when it goes wrong, because you got outworked, they always want to say they hating on
Yeah.
That's on me, baby.
you. Like I said, no one hated on you. You just came out at that concert, if you want to say, and you suck. That's
They
what
want
it is.
Philly.
Let
They
me tell you
want
what I
Philly.
love about rappers.
Mhm.
I love rappers. Let me tell you why. Because they are philosophers. And if you want to reach a rapper, you got to be a philosopher too. You got to, that's it. They are philosophers. At the core level. You sit down and you listen to them, and they are deep. They really are. They have deep thoughts.
Those are the more professional.
I know they all do. They all do. They all
They
do.
just
You know, we got some that's just not polished, but they all philosophers. They are.
Okay.
They get caught up in that game and partying.
yeah.
But if you just sit down and talk, they are philosophers at heart. And if you talk to them on that level, you can reach them.
All right. You're listening to the After Show on WRFG. We're about to get into a little business, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
We live. WFG
Keeping that in mind.
89.3.
Neither.
FM 89.3 FM. They have a set show. We live.
Right. Now you're right on that.
So when you start talking to them and you need them to do something, you get down on that level, that jailhouse philosophy level. And one of my friends would say, look, don't start running that jailhouse philosophy on me. This is what we need to do. And they react to that.
Yeah.
Good morning.
The After Set Show is still live, y'all. Still live on YouTube.
All of that is cute. And you can write that in your
Thank y'all
diary.
for checking in.
I'll get you a diary. You can write that in your diary. But let's just get to work.
Man, I remember.
Appreciate y'all checking in. Appreciate y'all. What time for callers on, man? Porter?
Got signed here with Philly. And they turned around. And it was crazy because
All right. I
I
will pose
never
that to
heard.
our guest.
I guess
Anything else like that?
Babyface Atlanta
And
and
then
LA that came from an era with, you know, they were part of R&B and pop group. So they had a different, they were so completely from unfamiliar with rap. So they sent them through all the rigors of what R&B. He had them, he polished them, they took interviews with them, all that stuff like R&B artists, you know what I'm saying?
totally different.
My, you know, interviews.
Okay. How much things are?
And I remember them going down there, and I remember people.
Thanks again for calling.
And I mean,
Hey, thank you for calling. I'm glad
he would
you're
actually
actually enjoying the show.
ride and play.
Thank you.
So know how to
All right, after that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I was coming from that old age rapper land, and he was trying to create there, but he was actually trying to create a good group. You know what I'm saying? He did it for a long time. And I remember saying, looking back at that, I said, wow, those early, you know what I'm saying? Because you was watching, talking, you know, they wanted to hear from them. They want to read about it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I think that was that's the one thing why they was so focused on counting the money and shrinking it apart.
Not more than that.
Thousands.
Yeah. That's what I said.
10,000.
Like I said last week, we said there was 200. Oh, excuse me. We said last week there were 500 records released every week. Oh, no, every genre of music. Here's the point. That's 2,000 a month. But only 10% make the chart. And that's 200. And so if you are just Joe Blow released a record in Atlanta, still competing against them other 1,999 records.
The artists now, they think they worried about man next door or man prostitutes. They ain't worried about like Lego, Drake.
Well, R. Kelly was in the subway station singing
Right.
and got this other. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you weren't worried about the guy in the subway station.
Right.
And look at the guy in the subway
They
station.
ain't worried about that ain't even competition.
And he is, and he the biggest. Now you sleeping on, you don't count anybody out. That guy downtown with that microphone and that little machine he keeps stepping on. And
Because all of that takes dedication.
yes. And he got that every day, honing his craft.
So why?
And you're performing in front of an audience.
I can't see
Taking
myself
critiques.
doing that like that.
Okay.
Look at his work ethic.
Okay.
You gotta look at it. How did he catch what you win and stand out further damn quick to sell the CD?
Dude, I remember cats
But you bring
that
it in
thought we was crazy. And you know, like we always say, man, that product was money. We had money tied up into them albums.
That's right. If we're gonna sell this, I'm not gonna hold on to it.
Yeah, we was like, man, we can't sit and wait on a record store to hopefully sell it. Man, when it started moving, we went to the store. Hey, man, we'll take all that stuff back.
Earwax records.
getting bread.
Well, they telling us they can't sell it.
What you need to
I'm telling
do?
you, we believe we could. But we traveled around until we found our market.
Yeah. Decent.
At the truth. Oh
Bad
yeah.
Mama Jamma.
Yeah, I gotta get because normally what we do is like at 3 o'clock, you know, we do our basic playlist. 4 o'clock, I'll do a funk set or a soul set. Then at 5 o'clock, we'll do a soul set. But we got so deep off into the discussion, my time running out. So I just like, just to represent everything, I got to throw one song in. You know,
He went Bad Mama Jamma.
All them bad mama jammers out there on Facebook, on my Instagram. Now you gonna be on this YouTube.
With Foxy Brown.
All y'all bad mama jammers. Yeah. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
I remember.
Merry
Man, I
Christmas.
remember when the real first came out. On that record.
Yeah.
So I think it was in Keith West there on Club. And we went there and my homeboy was there.
She's bad.
My boy walked over. He said, "Hey man," I said, "What up, Drew?" Talking just to Cisco. Drew Hill, what's up? Because he thought Drew Hill was a person.
Yeah.
like pretty tough.
Yeah, Drew Hill. So the whole time he thought Drew Hill. It was like,
Cisco, I can imagine.
but Cisco was like, the name is Cisco. Walked on, man. Bruh, it was just so funny how he stretched Cisco out to like make sure he knew. Like, and even after he said that, the hell with you, Drew Hill.
Still don't know you. You're not.
Drew Hill, man. I said, nah, that's Drew Hill.
Drew. That's Drew Hill. I don't remember. Because on the back.
That's just the band. Like the Drew Hill and the Pips.
Yeah.
You heard that? Drew Hill and the Pips. Yeah.
But what a tragedy when these great groups we had. And then they just.
R&B was king. The 90s R&B was king. They were on such a man.
Yeah.
Drew Hill ran on probably one of the nicest ones music.
They still are the same. But I will say this. I felt when I was working with them that they were bigger in their minds than they were in real life.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, I found that. And I kept looking around thinking, was I being funky? You know, I mean, the way they just was talking, I was just thinking, hell, I mean, I like Drew Hill. Y'all one of my favorite groups, but damn, you wasn't this popular. Not like you talking. You talk, I know they done sold out stuff, but no.
Yeah, I'm thinking that thing. I want to say probably their biggest album maybe went platinum.
The Dragon.
Yeah, maybe.
What, in the group?
I mean, they sound great. You know, it's one of my favorite groups, but I'm not delusional. But they are. They really are. They big out here, honey.
I heard they thought
I
they
seen them
were,
out there at Wolf Creek.
cause they really thought they were like Boys to Men.
Yes,
You
they
went
did.
up.
Yes.
And Boys to Men in the 90s went dumb.
Yes, they were. They were doing them.
You
They had the
talking about
producers.
Yeah, you talking about they second album with 10 million. Who does that? You know what I'm
Nobody
saying?
now.
Boy, man. That's what do.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they did a double. This is the crazy. It wasn't even on Real Climb. They went double platinum on Cooley, High Harmony, Lukewarm,
Mhm.
nice, cool. They retooled, bring Babyface in LA in.
The difference maker.
That shit went from struggling to 2 million to diamond the next. Literally,
The game
the
changer
next
with
album.
Babyface.
Overnight.
The right.
Let's them in real life.
It was the craziest overnight.
Get you a good writer.
Back in the day when producers and writers were gods.
Now you can say anything.
30 seconds.
We live, y'all. We live. WRFG 89.3. The Offset Show.
Cuddle down.
She's a bad mamma jamma. Call Carlton. Ooh, that's in our funk set for this morning. You are listening to the After 7 WRFG. I'm DJ Power Loyal, along with my partners in crime, Big Al, Uncle Ray JTL,
Yes, sir. I'm in here.
and the Heat Master.
Praise.
All right. And we also have our special guest in the house tonight, Miss Pamela Jefferson. In that last set, we heard Luda Christmas, and also Carl Carlton. She's bad man, Jefferson finished that up. You know how it goes. Anyway, I'm gonna say this once. Well, I'm gonna come back in a minute. We had a caller, Rufus.
Shout out to Rufus.
Yes.
Our first caller tonight.
Shout out to Rufus. Let us know that he's
Good morning,
out there.
Rufus.
That Atlanta is out there
Biscuits.
listening.
What's that in that roof?
So thank you, Rufus.
Bacon and eggs, yes.
So
Shout out to Backbone.
yeah, I'm back on also. Sorry about missing your call and not getting you on tonight, but we will hopefully get you on next week if you come into the station. We will definitely put you on through our Christmas show. Bam. So we have caller for the question of Rufus. And he wants to know, as an artist development in rap music, does age play a part in, I guess, the way artist development would happen for someone?
The way it would happen?
Yeah, 'cause as in
The approach, I guess.
it's a young rap music is considered a young guy's
Right.
sport, I guess you
Mhm.
say.
Right.
Young people's art. But you have older artists who are still out there, trying to do stuff. How would that affect the way you would do artist development?
It doesn't change for me. Doesn't change for me at all. Because the expectation is still the same from the label, from the audience, and from the developer. You got to do the same work.
Okay, but I don't know if you've ever really dealt with one of let's say a 30-year-old who's been out there supposedly doing this thing locally for the last 15 years, all of a sudden realizing, hey, to get something different, I got to do something different.
Yes.
So let me get some type of artist development. What kind of thing would, if you've ever done with this, would you have to do to kind of break them of those bad habits? In fact, break bad habits of any artist.
It's all going to be the same approach. It's a process that I build on. I don't try to do everything at one time. You got to break one habit at a time and get them used to it. Just like with anybody. You ever heard this saying, you can't teach a child to get rid of the pacifier and the bottle at the same time. They can't do it. It's too much of a struggle. You're an older artist. Let me say this first of all. And you want to rap. You're local. You're going to stay local. Because, and it's not my rule. You said it's a young man's game. And the label is going to see to it that you're young, that you stay local. But there's nothing wrong with being a local talent for your friends and people who want it, where we used to say old and out. And it's hard to think of 30 as old. But in the rap game, you a grandpa. You
In the
are.
music game, you're a grandpa.
We just gonna keep it real. You got a chance in R&B.
Gospel.
Very
And
soon.
gospel, yeah.
Very
You got it, because if you just like Anthony Hamilton, if you got that thing, somebody gonna put you on. Okay? So you can sort of start out. You got a chance. There's a chance. And especially if you look good. All right.
But pop in here.
Yeah, you but
appearances are part of the game.
and especially for women, men, you get to slide a little bit. You can put a hat on like somebody, and you're women. But that could be your signature thing. But you got to be real right there. But if you just want to do this, the expectation is still the same. You can't be out there losing your breath, and you can't stand on stage. If you 30 and I'm 30, I still don't want to see you standing there. I don't. You want to do something. You need to be creative. But the process of the artist development is still the same. You got to do something. You got to move. You may not be dancing. Get some dancers behind you. But you still, some people who can't move. You see those artists who can't really dance, when they move a little bit and the people behind them sweating, let them sweat. But you got to have a set. You got to be doing something. Engage with the audience. You still can't get a microphone and sit down. Because you tired.
What about the slow songs? When we get tired, I gotta sit on the stool.
LL. I'm alone in my room. No. You got to do something. You got to do this.
All right.
Yeah, but you can't sit down and lay down the whole time. You got to get creative because they going to know you trying to take a nap.
I do it.
On that note, we're going to wrap up our discussion on artist development tonight. Pam,
Yes,
thank you for coming.
you're welcome.
Appreciate you.
And we definitely have to have you back.
Oh, yeah.
We got a bunch of stuff that we can talk about. that We didn't get a chance to.
And I can get here in less than 10 minutes.
All right. And I definitely appreciate you coming because I know how much of a struggle it is.
It wasn't. I woke up like this.
All right, man.
How can, if anyone wants to get any more information from you or get in contact with you for your services, how can they do that?
Email me at JAZZYP4 @hotmail.
Okay, now say that again because I got lost on that one.
Jazzy P4U JAZZYP4 @hotmail.
All right. Big Al,
With
how can you
that,
get in contact with you?
you can either see me climbing out the girlfriend window,
On
or
a regular.
or you can follow me on the social media platforms, man. Big Al _ ATL, Twitter, Instagram, or you can follow my business page on Facebook, Vision Entertainment Atlanta.
And Uncle Reggie ATL, when you're not on them horses, how can people find you?
Oh man, they can find me. I've been going down the trail, man. You can reach me at Uncle Reggie ATL on Facebook, Uncle Reggie ATL on Twitter, King Reggie 637 on Instagram, and on YouTube. We live on YouTube, y'all.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, YouTube. Uncle Reggie Uncle Reggie ATL, 3 words.
You got somebody
Yeah.
on this.
And Geek Master, J. Perez.
You can, my information is on all social media, J Presidente, JPREZIDENTE. Or you go to Facebook, J Prez on Facebook.
All right. And of course, I'm DJ Power Lord, the God of Bass. And you can find me on Facebook or Twitter under DJ Power Lord. Before we get out of here, I first want to say also, before we get out, you can always check out videos of some of the artists that we played on our YouTube show, Tastemaker TV. That's TMTV on YouTube. So you can always go there and find some things. And because I've been saying this all night, I want to say it again, and now we're getting ready to do this. The Youth Ensemble of Atlanta got their Christmas classic, Atlanta's longest running Christmas musical comedy, Urban Holiday Soup, at the 7 Stages Theater, with performances this week at on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 8:00 p.m. and on Sunday, December 23rd at 5 o'clock. So you can go out and check that out. You can get tickets also on brownpaperbagtickets.com. But for any listeners tonight, I'm giving away 2 tickets to, you get to pick the day you want to go. All you got to do is call in at 404-523-8989, 404-523-8989. I'm gonna make it easy tonight. Caller number 5. I was gonna say caller number 89.3, but
Ain't gonna go that deep.
I know, right? Yeah. I want to see how that 0.3 caller gonna get through. But
I know that's right.
But anyway, caller number 5. Who calls 404-523-8989. You can get those 2 passes to the show, 2 tickets to the show, and have fun with you and someone this week. With that being said, let me do my wrap up. You can find me or some of my personalities this Wednesday morning with Blues Dr. Richard Pettit, the Blues Professor Richard Pettit, or with DJ Stagger Lee on Stagger Lee's Good Time Blues Authority and Good Time Dance Emporium. And I'm blowing the show. Okay, Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning from 7 to 10, I will be in with the blues department, so you can check out that. In fact, that's Coach Horace Hawkins. Coach Horace will be there. And 2 weeks from now, you can find Horace Hawkins doing the gospel show, Good Time Gospel, from 5 to 7 a.m. And of course, 7 days a week. 7 days later, every Monday morning, 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. on the After Set. I am DJ Power Lord. Have a good week, everybody.
Yeah. We do this, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Call number 5.
Yeah,
You get a call.
The after set. 89.3 FM.
If not, I'll be giving you tickets away on
Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, I should have made a request.
USA.
Bag that thing up. Every party I go to, I say, play bag that thing up. It's a party song. Yeah. That's how you get them out there.
Shout out to all the people in Ethiopia, Ghana, Nigeria,
And
everybody in Germany, Japan,
I know you know I gotta check it out. Man. He got me curious.
folks in Alabama, Tennessee, Arkansas, California, Texas, all the people in Texas, especially Atlanta, Georgia, everybody in Atlanta.
And I forgot to do it again.
Y'all know how we do it. The After Set show every Monday morning from 3 p.m., 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. Yeah, we live, y'all. Coming in for a landing.
Thank you. Eat some breakfast. Hey guys, it's
Here's
been
all the
fun.
Cowboys out there.
This was good.
ATL.
I was like, wow, this is around the corner.
I just started to But you didn't just buy a house in last
No, I didn't buy this house.
Okay.
Remember, y'all go to the Facebook page,
I remember you moving. That's what
go to the
I'm saying.
Instagram page. That's why we do this every
Yeah,
week.
it's right in Kirkwood.
Okay.
Yeah, man. We do this every week.
Every week. When you're not in the woods.
Huh. And then you hit the ceiling.
How many black women in the woods?
Ain't a good ride.
I'm telling you. Well, he with the horses. So he good. He good.
Yeah, that's my part. That's gold, boy.
I know.
Gold.
Give me all you got.
And I was on time.
Boy.
Yes, you were. If anybody get mad because I didn't do the paperwork today, oh well.
They might say something.
Amen.
Yeah, but we live, y'all.
All right, I'm leaving.
She's gone. She's in the wind, y'all.
Somebody walk out, there's a dock out there, I'm leaving.
She's leaving the building, y'all.
Boy, out here.
Oh,
Look for the soap. Do that thing.
Yeah.
Let me get my husband, Horace. Go, man.
Actually,
Government.
before you leave, Fred, grab us a photo, man, so we can get put on the Facebook.
With my new hair color. Testing out something. And I almost covered it this morning.
Someone could.
You gonna take in front of the thing? In front of the, you gonna take in front of the banner out there?
Actually, I have to find a long song.
You find the mix.
We gotta be one.
All right, let's go real quick.
All right. We're signing out, y'all. I'm Rich ATL. King Ready 637. Mr. Brown. We out of here. Peace until next week.
I got it.